Well, today I brought the Malibu into my garage. We had several things happen today that did not work as planned, and it's just how it works. I knew it was going to be cold, and the city's really getting me hard on the electric over at the shop, and I think the high today is in maybe 40 or so, and it's just too expensive to run the heat over there, and you know, 'cause I've got the heat on over here too, so I just decided to move the Mustang out and move this in for today, maybe into tomorrow, and I'm going to try to pull this dent out of this door. You're looking at the door panel now, so I'm going to pull it off. There's not much to these, but they are a two-part door panel. The top separates from the bottom section, and first thing I'm going to do is pull this door, this actual window crank. A lot of you already know what a lot of the, you know, this old manual ones. Everything today is all electric, and it's hard to find a manual. I'm not even sure they even make a manual car anymore, window car. I'm sure they probably do, but so anyway, I bought this Chinese. I got one somewhere, I don't have no idea where it is, but it's specifically for the snaps, the clips that hold these window cranks in. Anyway, if it was put in right, you actually have to go down this side. I know you're not very close, but you just put behind there's usually a piece of plastic between them. You kind of got to watch which side of that you're on. I don't think this one has one, doesn't act like it. When you line up directly on top of that, you should be able to just push that down and this come right off. If it does what it's supposed to, and I didn't practice, this is when the tool works like it's supposed to, that's how it works. And actually what you're seeing did. I don't know if it's going to focus on that or not. Sort of. You can kind of see how that clip snaps around there, then it holds onto that, you know, that tube. Anyway, it's a pretty simple setup. Just snap them back on, take the tool off, and snap that back into place. Then when you go to put that back on, set it on there and just hit it with your hand, and you usually go right in. Now I'm actually going to leave this clip out, and I'll pull it back out of there. The reason I'm going to do that is because I'm going to have to roll the window up and down several times. Going to take the clip clear off. Alright, the rest of it's pretty much Phillips head screws. And they're kind of everywhere. You don't know where they're going to be. Sometimes people put extra ones in. Once they're, you take your lock. Just unscrew it. Pretty tight. Anyway, a lot of times I had trouble with the door panels. People run screws in to help hold them on, and I don't like to do that. I probably have done it in the past, but I don't like to do it. Let's set everything on the floor. I don't know if there's any more of these or not. I can't remember. Top comes off first, and that bottom comes off. Make sure there's nothing. No. Alright. The rest is just the plastic snaps down here. This will actually usually come right off on its own. Some of the issues I've had today was I came out here. Well, let's start with the BMW. I didn't think anything about what was going on. I just went ahead and it's been sitting for a few days. It's been cold. I mean, you know, well, I got home from work Saturday evening. You know what, this thing is actually one. Somebody, they may have always been one piece. I don't really remember. Anyway, I get home Saturday night and I take the wife's car to work, and I didn't think anything about it. And I thought, well, I'm gonna take the car because she may need it. So I go out to BMW. Probably about 5:15. Started. There's ice all over it. You know, like I said, it had been cold and icy. And no, battery was dead. And it had only been sitting 3 or 4 days. So I thought, well, I'll speaking of being dead for 3 or 4 days, come on. Alright. So anyway, I didn't went ahead and stuck a battery charger on it and let it sit for about 2.5 hours. And it fired right up. Oh, that's right, there is a couple of screws in here, ain't there? Yeah, I forgot about that. So anyway, I went ahead and charged for 2.5 hours. The thing fires right up. It was a little slow, but it fired right up. So I went ahead and left it charging on 2 amps all night long. And it's probably 20 minutes to 4. Getting ready for work. I went ahead and started the car up. Let it run with the battery charger on it. No problem. So I thought, all right, life is good. And so I went to work, got off work, the thing started right up, and I was pretty happy with it. Got home at 10 after 5 yesterday. Came out this morning, battery is dead. That battery was new in, I think it's July. I had to replace it from warranty. That's a huge battery, it has to be ordered. Nobody has one in stock. And it was $200, right around there anyway. So I went to AutoZone, didn't even take the car, and went to AutoZone to go pick up a part for this actually. I'll show you that later. And anyway, so I go ahead and tell him what's going on. He went ahead and ordered me a battery because he's figured, you know, it's this thing actually goes here, and I wonder why it's broke. It's actually a the window comes up. It's probably going to be hard to see. Here it actually, not too far. You see, you may not be able to. Let me see what you can see here. Yeah, you can kind of make it out. It's kind of a rusty color deal. It actually comes up because it's just actually the window is actually bolted to the regulator by 2 bolts, and then there's just one track. And it starts here, and it kind of does this last bend. This is it right here. And there's just one pin down here at the bottom that holds this window in. And then you got a couple of belts with adjusters here to keep the pressure against it. You know, once you get your door panel on, you got an inner and outer wiper. It's just like the boys' car. But this thing here, actually, when it comes up, it actually lines that up. I wonder if that broke during the wreck. I bet you it did. Because the door pushed in and the glass didn't have any place to go. So instead of breaking the glass, it must have broke this piece of plastic. I'm sure I can get one of those. I'll have to look. What that does though is that I wonder what was rattling. That actually comes up, that thing goes right in between there, then that holds that window in. As you're going down the road, you know, without a frame around the window, the only thing that's holding this thing in is just basically weight and osmosis. You know, you're talking about something that you figure your regulator, attachment, everything is way down low, and then these things are up here. Then you got the 2 wipers. And then when it, because of the angle of this and how much weight pressure's on it, then your rubber, there's actually a little, I'll pick you up for just a second. Okay, that little plastic nub sticking out right here, the window actually goes up behind that. And there's only one. As you can see, there's only one. And they're all that way, and they've got them on both sides. So, anyway, there ain't much holds them in. So that holds the front end, this outer plastic, and then this inner plastic kind of holds the back window from, you know, flexing a lot. Well, either way, it doesn't make any difference. This is what it is. It's obviously broke. Whether it did it during that wreck or not, I don't know. The reason I'm pulling this out though is to pull this dent, and this is probably going to be a multi-part deal. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get this out, or get this dent out. What I was wanting to do was to know if I needed to replace the window or not, or whether I could fix this. And looking in here, there's a huge metal structure in here that is not inside that boy's car. Huh. I can feel a little bit of the dent, but I can't get to it. I'm almost positive that boy's car does not have that in there. I thought that was just open. I'll have to go over and look at that, because like I said, the doors are off. You guys seen some of the last videos. The door is actually Both doors are off the car and there's no glass in it. Well, I was hoping I could get in here and pull this, but there is just not a... I'm going to walk in front of the camera and get a light. I just as soon not pull the glass out of this. Well, I can feel the dent and I can see it. I can get some of it possibly. But I don't get to very much of it. Is that when it goes? No. Wow. Well, I might be able to get a little bit of it. You just have to use the dent puller, stud puller, and the stud gun, whatever you want to call it, on the rest of it. Well, let's have to see. Well, I knew this was going to be a multi-part deal. I just didn't expect it to be get me right off the bat here. And I'm going to turn this around where you can see. You probably remember the damage I showed you on this. The reason I'm doing this, like I said, is to find out if I need a door. And then number two is it's starting to flash rust. I know, and I've said this in the past, I know this quarter's been replaced before, and it's very possible that this door was reskinned or was possibly a new door. I'm going with I don't know. If it was a new door or it was skinned, it had to have been done a long time ago. That means that that quarter damage was probably old. I'm grasping at straws because I'm not really sure. But that is raw bare steel underneath the mud and the paint that came off. As you can see, it wasn't prepped real well, so once it got hit, it just flaked off. But there's no sign of sanding or any work to that steel underneath there. And so when they put this on, I'm not seeing multiple layers like I am the rest of the car. This was a one-shot deal, it looks like to me. And it looks like they stuck a little mud on it, and then they just painted over. You know, I don't think it was sealed. And I think the reason it looks like why it did what it did was because this was a door, a new door, a new skin at one time. I'm gonna look inside to see if I could have any. I swore I've looked at this before to see if I see any remnants of this actually being reskinned. Boy, I don't think so. I know you're looking probably at something goofy, but possibly me, I'm not sure. But just looking at this, if this was reskinned, whoever did it was a professional. I mean, it I don't know, it looks pretty good. Matter of fact, I got a little bit of rust starting at the bottom of this. Possibly because looks like when it was hit, some of that, yeah, that's what it did. A lot of it looks like they sprayed the inside of the door with some type of a rust inhibitor, preventer, whether it be undercoating or whatever it is, and it actually has plugged up the drain. But we haven't had any rain, so it's not like it's. But that's something you got to watch on these doors. One of the boys, that thing, you pull up to, after a big rain, you'd pull up somewhere, go to get out of it, and you hear the door sloshing. It would be clear full of water, so you have to clean those drains. There's about I think there's 2 drains on these. But anyway, so I'm going to get a tool, possibly a hammer or something to beat with. Hang on a minute. Oh. Make that video. Yes. Alright, sounds good. Alright, bye. Alright, sorry about that. That was a had-to phone call. When Mama calls, you got to answer the phone. Okay, sorry about that. So anyway, I want to get in there with a hammer and something to beat with. I thought I had more room than that, and I do not. So I'm really not going to be able to get. I can get a little bit like right through here, but that's about it. And I know that's where the majority of it's dented. So I will attempt to get this done, get this beat out some. And you probably don't want to sit there and watch me beat on it. And then I'm going to sand this down, get this off here, because that dent puller or stud gun I have, it has to be clear down to steel. There can't be anything on there. But you can see that rusting starting, and that'll ruin the door if it's savable. So what I'm going to do is stop for right now. This will be kind of part one, I suppose, of door repair. Obviously, I didn't really show you how to remove the door panel, but you kind of saw what you had to do. There's several screws here and there, and it's not impossible to take these off. They come off real easy. Those little plastic deals on the bottom that bottom half, sometimes they'll stick in the car. These actually did come off, but once you take these on and off once or twice, they're done. And it used to be almost impossible to find them, but you know, they just slide right out. And almost all cars still use some type of these. So anyway, I said they slide out. These do not. Oh, they screw in. They're yeah, I've seen these before. It's been a long time. Anyway, I'm gonna go to AutoZone and get some because they're easy enough to get. But it does show you though, on looking at this, take these two screws out here, and you can get your armrest off. You can, if you buy a car and you don't like the color, like this red car with, it's kind of a burgundy red, I don't know what color you want to call this interior, but because this stuff is all separates out, it's very easy to do a really good heavy cleaning on these, and then do a vinyl paint, and they make it. It's a plastic or vinyl paint nowadays, and actually they've had it for a long time. I used some 30 years ago and actually worked pretty good. So it didn't work on seats real good, but it did like on a vinyl roof and whatever, door panels and stuff. So anyway, if you wanted to change the color of these, you can do it without spending a boatload of money. Even this top piece, and walk in front of the camera again, it's a lot heavier. And I'm probably gonna do something with the boy's car because his is in bad shape. They sell these pieces, these top pieces without the chrome. You gotta take these off, put them on yourself. But they sell these for this car in various colors. You get both driver, passenger door top, and then you get the back seat top for the two doors. But it's $400, and it's worth it if you're wanting to make a show car out of it. If you're wanting to daily drive it, and you know, or you're on a budget, $400 is a lot of money just for the tops of these. So if you look at the back of these, well, they glued the crap out of that. I think somebody has maybe changed this. Anyway, you pull these, I'm not sure what you can see. These little tabs here hold the chrome in. Bend those out, take the two chrome strips out. This top piece here is actually steel. And they staple this. This is that inner wiper. These things are expensive if you want to buy like original equipment. We're talking $400 or $500 for both sets. Just for this rubber with the chrome. I mean, it's ridiculous what this stuff costs for these. But anyway, you could take this apart, and this is that, I don't remember what they call this, but you could probably get this at any, like a Hobby Lobby or any type of a store that actually does any materials or whatever. And because this one's gotten wet, and it's actually bowed out. Like I said, I'm not sure what you can see. I know I'm kind of close. Well, this is kind of bowed out right here. And anyway, you can actually undo all this, take all this stuff off if this is still in decent enough shape, and you can put whatever you want on the outside, any type of a material, or you can, if the vinyl's decent enough shape like this one is, you could probably paint this whatever color and then put whatever in the center you want. It doesn't necessarily have to have these knobs. They got a little bit of, I'm not sure what's behind it, whether it's some type of a, it doesn't make any difference. You can do whatever you want though on these. You can even put vinyl in there. I'm actually, when I get the boys' car a little further along, interior pull out, I'll show you. I actually used black Naugahyde on the, I used 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch, I think it's quarter, I don't remember. Yeah, on the package tray back in the back. I used plywood, And then I had some black naugahyde left over from a project that my mom and I had done for some chairs in the house for the dining room table. Our cat, before we got them given to us, and a cat had got up there and sharpened its claws on the backs of all 4 of the chairs and just destroyed them. So Mom brought a whole bunch of naugahyde, and we actually redid the chairs, and I still had some left. And I actually did the package tray out of black naugahyde. That was in like 2009, and that has been outside ever since. The car was only in the garage maybe a total of 5 or 6 months its entire life. Since I've had it, and that naugahyde still looks really good. So it's really good stuff. You want to pay a little extra, but it's really good stuff. So anyway, I'm going to start beating on this. You don't need to hear it. Then I'll get back to you, and we'll see what we got accomplished.